Not sure if that's for me. But I've had My Lady on my wish list for a while. It's very weird and artistic, which is what first drew me to it. Estimated gameplay time is only 45 minutes to an hour, though, which for 99 cents is not a good deal, in my opinion. There's 5 endings. Full English voiceover. Oh, it's got one of my it's got that voice actor I know in it, though. A bloody party. Like, what in the world? Is this a new... Yeah, this came out this year. This came out January 25th. It's about vampires. Oh my god, am I going to buy this? It's $5. Full English voice acting. QuickTime event minigames. Ugh. 7 bad endings, 1 true ending. Oh god. Short for casual enjoyment. Aww. Let's see if they've got any. No voice actors I know. What does it mean by short for your enjoyment, though? Because if I'm going to spend $5 on something, it better not mean, like, an hour long. It doesn't say how long it is. Okay, let's see how many... Oh! Oh, wow. This person has less than an hour on record. And says it's good. I'm sorry, but for $5... Oh god, this one person says, I put in for my refund. I originally purchased this game because I'm a big vampire fan, but the game writing and mechanics made me angry and completely turned me off. First off, despite the advertisement claiming you could be masculine or feminine, no matter how you choose to preset your character, the writing dictates your character has a feminine nature and naturally has an attraction to other men. I didn't find it the least bit cute or appropriate how my character dressed to the nines in a tuxedo, had his heart fluttering at another man's smile, near swooned as another man kissed his hands, and then had another man lead him like a woman in the waltz. If this is an Otome game, it should have been properly tagged and advertised as such. Well, yeah. Okay, I don't think this person even knew what they were getting into. Oh, I get it. He's not gay and he doesn't like it. Oh. Yeah, they just don't like gay people. Ah, funny. Yeah, it's way too short. I'm not paying $5 for a game that doesn't even last an hour. Jesus God, no. They almost got me because I was excited for a new project. But I'm sorry. Not for $5. I need more than an hour of gameplay for $5. That sucks! What's that other one? There's one more game she made. Maybe this isn't the game I thought it was that sucked. A psychological horror game and visual novel that will test your morality, your ability to adapt, and your willpower to remain sane under pressure. Oh, that's nice. This is $10. Oh. Wow, there's a lot of voice actors in this one. It doesn't say how long it is. Okay. Oh, wow. Some of these have 7 hours on record, and some of them have like 3 hours on record. Okay, so I think it's actually a long game. Well, I don't know. Now this person has an hour on record. Ooh. Oh, okay, here's an honest review. Honestly, an interesting premise, but rather short. 1.8 hours, and that's with needing to restart some of the mazes multiple times. Ooh. Alright, alright. So those 7-hour people are people who played it multiple times. Alright. I'm sorry, Michaela Laws. I love Seduce Me, but it looks like almost all of your other projects are not for me, except for My Lady. Wait, what's this? Blind Love? Did I not? I didn't even see this one. I'm so confused! It's 99 cents. It looks very artistic. I like it. I'm intrigued. Hold on. There's not much information about it. Oh, it's another short one. It's like an hour. Sorry, an hour for $1 still ain't gonna cut it. Gosh darn. I'm like so entranced in all of her works. Oh, dang. One day when I have a lot of money, I'll actually try all these out, because they all, for the most part, they all look really interesting. Oh man. And that Blood Party one is her most recent project. She hasn't done another project since 2017. October of 2017, sorry. Darn, man. Well, I hope she's making a lot of money off of Seduce Me, because that's what's got me involved. I mean, it's free and you get 6 hours of gameplay for one route. So I understand that it had like a Kickstarter backing, but to go from free 6 hours of gameplay to $5 for like 2 hours of gameplay is not very cool. Maybe the voice acting and the art is just way better and the writing's really better, in which case charge as much as you want to, girl, because the writing in this one's not great. But dang. What are we looking at? Oh, I was looking at all of the other games that Michaela Laws, the person who made Seduce Me, made. And they all showed promise, but they're all too expensive for how little content you get out of it. As opposed to Seduce Me, where it's free and you get roughly 6 hours for every route. Sorry for getting sidetracked. Like, whew. Yeah, I would definitely love to make like a patch for this game that fixes all of the weird grammar. Anyway. Where were we? Okay, we already read this line.
Lilies?
Yep, lilies. Common flowers for gravestones, yeah? My grandpappy didn't have a favorite flower. I heard and felt Andrew gently crouch down and sit beside me. I turned my head to look at him, catching him nodding in acknowledgement to my statement. I turned back to the grave, letting out a small sigh. So, can I be really rude and ask you why you came here, as if it's not obvious?
I came to pay my respects. He was someone I really idolized.
Sorry. I thought I got an important email and I didn't. I turned my head to him, again, confused. Idolized?
Mm-hmm. He inspired me to work hard and make people happy. When I interned for his company, he was the first person to greet me at the doors with open arms, even before my father.
We all know about terrible fathers, don't we? I almost couldn't believe what I was hearing. However, the look in Andrew's eyes made my heart break. He truly idolized my grandfather like he was his own grandfather.
Your grandfather was an amazing man, but I'm sure I don't have to tell you that.
Nope.
He treated me better than my dad ever could. All my dad cares about is me becoming the CEO. But Harold Anderson? No.
I could practically feel my lips move in sync with Andrew's as he continued to speak, almost hearing my grandfather speak alongside him in the air.
He said, "Don't worry about it so much. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy instead."
So it was a line he used. Andrew turned to me in surprise before smiling.
Really? He cared a lot about you. There were days that he wouldn't stop talking about you and compared you to me.
Well, he never mentioned you. Felt a blush rush across my face. What things did he say?
Well, he told me how cute you were and how you loved to make people happy. He also said you always had the perfect ideas for his toys.
Sure. I felt a smile grow on my face, remembering the small moment when I had helped him design his now most popular toy, the glowing heart bear. Doesn't that just roll off the tongue? I didn't realize how proud of me he was because I was so small, but now that I was older, I was able to understand. He always had me help him, even when I didn't feel like I could. He was the greatest person ever in my life. He treated me better than my dad. Listen, anyone treats you better than your dad, it seems.
How does your dad treat you?
Like garbage! He's pretty cruel. He wants me to be the CEO of the company as well, since it's technically a family business.
Ah, he's strict, like my dad. Well, if it ever came to a time where the board had to decide a CEO, I'd gladly give it up for you.
Well, I don't want it. I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Did he want the position? Didn't he want the position? Why, you don't want to be CEO? To my surprise, Andrew shook his head with a goofy smile.
I don't. My dad wants me to take over the Anderson company, but I really am not sure if I want to or not. Sure, making toys is great and helping people is something I want to do, but I don't know if I want to head the company.
You're not sure what you want to do. Just like me. It's almost like you guys are like not even close to being 30 yet and shouldn't know what you want to do with the rest of your life anyway.
You don't want to be a CEO either?
I shook my head. Andrew let out a small laugh.
Man, we must be the worst kids on the planet. Our dads want us to take over a company, but we don't even want to. Imagine what would happen if they actually liked each other.
I mean, I don't know your dad personally, Andrew, but if he's anything like Slappy's, they're both evil people. They probably don't like anybody. I couldn't help but laugh with him. We were in the same boat, yet we were on opposing sides. It was like Romeo versus Juliet, two families competing for one goal, but the competitors didn't want to even try to reach that goal. It's dinner, BRB. All right, viewer. Wow, it's already 5 o'clock. Lord. Oh, man, I know I'm like, oh, time's flying by so fast, but it's not going to feel like that when it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and I know that noon is 9 hours away. Andrew gently stopped laughing and smiled at me.
Your grandfather was right about one thing, though. You are really cute.
Well, his dead body's right there. So you picked a great time to flirt with me, Andrew. The blush that had faded from my face suddenly returned at his words. I looked away from him, making him laugh again.
Sorry, it's true. Cross my heart.
Grandpappy is dead right in front of us, and you're here making jokes. Men. He was flattering me. I had to admit. He was cute too, but I had only known him for a short while. It wasn't realistic to like him more than that. Oh my god. Slappy is the biggest contradiction. Andrew cleared his throat and sat up straight, rubbing the back of his neck.
I'll let you have some time with your grandfather. I don't have anywhere to be, so I'll wait by the gates and give you a ride home when you're done.
What a peach. It was very sweet of him to wait for me, so I accepted his ride home. Andrew smiled before heading back to the gates. I remained with my grandpappy. I'm sure you're laughing where... I didn't even feel that one coming. I'm sure you're laughing where you are, grandpappy. I practically glared at the grave, but after a brief second I smiled. He's a sweet guy and he's a big fan of yours. Who wouldn't be? You cared for everyone, no matter who they were. Viewer, never mind, Dad was just starting dinner now. Aw, isn't that the worst? Sometimes I think dinner is done because I can smell it. And turns out, like, the meat has, like, just hit the pan and it's just like, oh. Okay, and then you eat, like, half a bag of Doritos in, like, 10 minutes and then dinner's ready. And you're not even hungry anymore. That's how my life usually goes, if there's any Doritos in the house. But I've been mostly eating Hawaiian rolls. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 empty packages of King's Hawaiian rolls just here. Empty. And no, I haven't thrown them away yet. When you're sick, you don't have the energy to throw King's Hawaiian roll packets away, okay? They just kind of pile up in a neat little pile on your desk. But they're just here. Empty, unfortunately. Oh, now I really want bread. We don't have any more. Oh. Never had a King's Hawaiian roll? Viewer, you're kidding me. How have you... Everyone's had a King's Hawaiian roll. You're lying. There's no way you haven't had a King's Hawaiian roll. Shenanigans and lies, I tell you. I gently ran a finger over one of the lines in the bouquet. It was soft to touch, but my mind was filled with Andrew for some reason. Ooh. Was this Grandpappy's plan? Did he hope for me to meet Andrew as a kindred spirit? Never had one. You're lying, viewer. I ain't gonna listen to it anymore. I wouldn't be surprised. I chuckled softly before standing. I'll be fine, Grandpappy. Andrew's a good guy, but who knows? I shrugged before letting out a sigh and turning back to the cemetery gate, where Andrew awaited me. Andrew led me into his car and drove me home. I went to my room and remained there until dinner. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, why I feel like there's a lot of repeating words here. I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly that next morning. No grogginess, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep? I don't know, probably a week. Not even. I looked to my alarm clock. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. Oh, that's the worst. Well, hey. Must be lucky today? What? No. How is that lucky? I would hate to wake up before my alarm. Karma owed me some luck. After all, I had gone through in merely a handful of days. I deserved to get some good luck. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
7? What time does high school start here? 8? That's like what time elementary school started when I was a kid. Like, when I was growing up, like, high schoolers had to be, like, up at, like, 5:30, catch their bus at, like, 6 something, like 6:15, and then they'd get to school at, like, 6:45, and then high school would start at its latest at, like, 7 a.m. Like, what? I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. I checked the time, 6:30. Perfect. I can eat some breakfast before. Why did you have to check your phone? You woke up 10 minutes before your alarm, so you already knew the time. Packed my bag and carried it downstairs into the kitchen. Quickly made myself coffee and toast, not having time for anything big. I let out a soft sigh in happiness as I sipped my coffee. I felt great, and I felt like nothing could stop me today. Come at me, day. I'm ready for you. Oh, if only she knew. I looked at the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to school, talking about the homework and the coming day. We made it into the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, another thing that's really convenient, so we quickly unloaded what we needed to and got our important books and necessities. And we're gonna save. Go to 5. There we go. First incident of the day. As I walked toward Suzu and Naomi, who were both waiting for me on the opposite side of the hall, something hooked my ankle and made me fall forward. Whoa!
Hey, are you okay?
A tier. A tier voice acting.
Who did that?
The three of us looked back to see Lisette and her gaggle of girls. Lisette had a look of complete innocence while the girls around her giggled like no tomorrow.
Why, you little... Suzu, don't!
I felt a giant fire of anger burn in my stomach as I stared at Lisette. Today was not the only time this had happened to me. However, it was now clear who was behind these incidents. Even if she was innocent and one of her goons did it, it was now obvious that Lisette was the mastermind just from the look on her face. She was no friend, nor would she ever be. I had to do something. Stand up and walk away. It's the first time I've ever done that in this game. I always fight Lisette. Always. No. I wasn't going to bring myself to her level. She was a bully, but I was not going to let her get to me. Had to be stronger than her, and only then would I have beaten her. I stood up and brushed myself off, pretending nothing had happened.
Anderson, you okay? That was a pretty bad fall.
Yeah, I'm fine. A fall like that is nothing. I merely smiled at them, not wanting to let them know the pain rushing through my body from that fall. My arms were quaking. My shoulders were pulsing. but I remained content-faced. I quickly gathered up my belongings and nodded to my two friends. Come on, we'll be late for history. Suzu and Naomi looked at each other before frowning and nodding to me. Naomi and Suzu flanked me as we began to walk to class away from the gaggle of bullies. As we walked, I could barely see Suzu flipping the middle finger to the group behind us from the corner of my eye.
Friggin' bunch of Lisette feet lickers.
That's a sentence.
That's gross, Susie.
Yeah.
It's true. It's all OMG! Lisette is the best! Let's follow her around because we obviously don't have lives.
Isn't that kind of like how you guys are with me? Naomi and I could not help but laugh. The group behind us, however, did not like Suzu's words.
At least my dad doesn't screw around in the black market to keep a stupid casino running.
What, so first they're in the mafia and now he's in the black market and runs a casino? Suzu stopped. Naomi and I stopped as well to look back at Suzu, who was completely red in anger. Suzu slowly turned ahead to the group, glaring daggers at them.
The fuck did you just say?
I had to act fast. I placed my hand on Suzu's shoulder and gripped tightly, knowing she could try to push my hand away. Suzu, they're not worth it. Let's just go.
No, I think it's about time we taught them some manners. Suzu.
Oh well, I tried to avoid fighting. I looked at Lisette and her group. Lisette had a widely amused smile on her face, which irked me to no end. Nevertheless, I knew that fighting wasn't going to get us anywhere. Let's go. I grabbed Suzu by the shoulder roughly, pulling her back to Naomi and me. Oh my god. For the fact that they made a joke in the game about saying, and I instead of and me, they've made it that mistake multiple times, like at least 3 times outside of that joke. I'm shook. Suzu tried to step towards the group, but Naomi held onto her other shoulder. We held onto her, who fought against our hands as we marched to class. Surprisingly, the rest of the school day went off without another incident. I went to my classes, had lunch, and was anxious to get home. As the bell rang for school to end, I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket. Huh? A text? From Douchebag? I'll be picking you up today. Make sure you're ready to go when I get there. That's disappointing. I quickly headed back to my locker and got my things before waiting for Naomi and Suzu.
Hey, are you ready to go?
Actually, my dad's picking me up.
Really? Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. We'll drive home together next time. Tell your dad that we've got you covered from now on.
Yeah, I guess. Even while I laughed, something didn't seem right. My dad texted me to say this. Why was he gonna pick me up? Had I done something wrong? I didn't know. I waved goodbye to Naomi and Suzu before heading off to the usual spot where my dad picks me up. I took the time to listen to music while I waited. I need to go to another Rise of the Phoenix concert. Eventually, I had played the entire album with no one showing up. What the hey? Dad's never late, especially not this late. Quickly dialed my dad's number again, but as soon as I pressed call, it disconnected and read a signal disconnection error message. What the? No signal error? How do I not have signal? I double-checked my phone and saw all 5 bars for signal. He must be in a dead zone. Before I could finish, a group of hands grabbed at my hands, feet, and covered my mouth. Why they waited this long to ambush me when apparently I listened to an entire album just alone on a curb somewhere is beyond me.
Hey! Don't dirty up Melix's prey!
The voice, which sent a fearful shiver down my spine, whispered into my ear.
You're coming with me, Miss Anderson.
I couldn't fathom what was happening, but before I knew it, I was blindfolded and my limbs were quickly tied up. I felt myself being carried somewhere and was shoved into something that echoed the interior of a bus or a van. The doors closed and off I was taken, unsure of where I was going and why. All I knew was that I was in trouble. Yeah, a little bit. All I saw was darkness. I felt numb as I was taken to a place I didn't know of. I couldn't even move my lips to scream. Sounds zipped past my ears. First of the interior of a car, then the outside, then an echoey space with whispers and cackles of people vibrating through it. However, the wrap around my eyes was eventually removed from my face, and my bonds were cut. It took a while for my eyes to adjust, but I found myself in a warehouse, surrounded by devils, including Malix, who was smirking at me.
Nicely done! I'm sure those little shits will come running to find you when they realize you didn't return to your precious little mansion. They'll search everywhere for you.
Yeah, but how far away from there are we? Because, like, if we're, like, missing, they could totally just call the police. I'm sorry. I just need to eat a mouthful of these real quick. Delicious. They're really not. Malix walked over and set the barrel of his gun against the skin between my eyes.
It'll be so funny when they find your dead body instead. It'll be so...
Now, my understanding is that you have to fight here if you haven't romanced any of the boys. The demon boys, I should say. Because if you wait 3 times, he kills you. So, no way this was happening. No way was I going to let myself be a victim of this. I will.
What are you whimpering? Are you praying that the boys will come and save you?
I closed my eyes and took a breath before snapping up to one leg and sweeping my foot across Malix's face. Oh yeah, we allegedly know Taekwondo. Allegedly. Malix flew to the side and rolled, rubbing his cheek in complete shock. I could feel Eris step back away from me, leaving me to look at Malix and shake my foot out from the hill. Malix quickly hopped up and growled at me, obviously surprised, but irritated beyond belief.
You little bitch! You think you're tough, huh? Well, I'll show you your place. Come here!
Malix charged at me, dropping the gun that would never hurt me to the floor and reaching for my face. However, I quickly crouched down and swept my leg in front of me, knocking Malix down once again. Is he just gonna fall for this every time? Can he not see a massive leg coming towards him? I rolled back away from the fallen devil and glared as I rose back up to my feet. Just because I'm human doesn't mean I can't kick your ass. What I want to know is, okay, I get it. The devils can't use their magic, but what's stopping them from just, like, grabbing a hammer and, like, bashing our skull in? Placed my hands in front of me before sliding over to Malix and slamming the tip of my foot into his head. One of the devils around us tried to step in, but Eris held out her arm, stopping them.
No! Stay out of it! Let Malix deal with it.
I feel like she just wants to watch Malix get beat up. As commanded, the devils that surrounded us stood away from the fight. The group watching us was lost in intrigue as I stood up against their leader. I continued to kick at Malix, who tried to block my kicks with his arms. Apparently, we did not skip leg day, because that is all we've been using. Brought a foot up before slamming it down onto Malix's chest. I definitely heard a rib. Ew. Ew. Oh, I don't like the idea of, like, bones cracking. Ugh. I definitely heard a rib or two crack at the impact, causing Malix to lose his breath. What I didn't expect was him grabbing my leg and pulling. Thank you! He finally realizes how to, like, acknowledge a leg. Like, it shouldn't be that hard. I fell to the ground, landing with a loud thud. Oof. I felt pain shoot up my arms and run through my body at the impact my body had on the ground. God, I just want to rewrite this whole game. Once you've played through it like 7 times, you just catch every weird bit of grammar and practically choke on it. I tried to push off, but the pain forced me to stay down. Malix took that chance to roll on top of me and pin me down, glaring and smirking down at me evilly. As I tried to get him off, the futility of the situation dawned on me. I was fighting a devil. I was just a human. I wasn't magical, nor was I special. I wasn't going to beat him.
It's useless, woman. You're as good as dead. Bet you regret trying to fight me in the first place now.
Fear began to consume me. Oh, for the love of God, please someone find me. I prayed. I hoped that I wouldn't have to keep fighting. I was becoming desperate.
You have major balls trying to fight me. You're not even a man. You're a puny woman who's about to get what's coming to her.
What made everyone in that warehouse drop our fighting faces was the screeching of police sirens coming closer to our location. Malix smirked even wider.
It's time to have fun, boys. Make sure you kill them all.
The devils all seemed to get excited and started to walk past us to meet with the cops, but a loud finger snap stopped them and made them turn around. Malix and I looked to see Eris with her hand in the air, post-snap.
Eris, what are you doing?
Enough, Malix. We've wasted enough time in this stupid town. I'm getting out of here, and I'm taking the rest with me.
I didn't know whether to laugh or not. I bit my tongue as Malix got angry again.
Like hell you are. Boys, do as I say, or else.
None of the boys moved. Eris snapped her fingers again, causing the boys to rush back past her and out another way from the warehouse.
Malix, it's over. You can't even beat a human girl. You're losing your powers. Lower devils only follow higher-ups that actually have power.
Shut your mouth!
Malix summoned his gun to his hand and shot multiple times at Eris, who somehow managed to teleport away from the shooting line and reappear by us. She shook her head, letting out a sigh, before grabbing Malix by the neck and pulling him off me. Malix started to choke as Eris stared coldly at him.
All this for a bunch of pretty boys. You must be stupid and desperate.
Eris looked to me, making me tense up.
Human, I suggest heading home to your pretty boys. You don't want to get involved in a supernatural investigation. It's a pain in the ass.
She then turned back to Malix, glaring daggers into him as he glared back at her.
You really think women are weak? Let me fix that, sweetie.
And with that, Eris vanished into the shadows, taking Malix with her. Man, I'd like to see the rest of that story. As I was left alone, the police siren stopped. I looked over to the open passage to see the incubi with a large police siren megaphone, which I don't think I've ever acknowledged this, but that's such a stupid plot device that never gets explained. But, you know, whatever.
Where is he? I swear I'm gonna...
He's gone. Eris took him and left. They won't be coming back. It was all so surreal. I was helped by a devil, but I quickly shook off the feeling. I was alive, and that was all that mattered. I fought to stay alive, and there I was. The boys tried to question me, but James cleared his throat, catching the attention of his brothers and me. Again with the "and me."
Let's just get you home, miss. There's nothing more to see here.
All together, we began to walk out of the warehouse. Warehouse? Warehouse? No. Warehouse. Back home. There was no way in hell anyone was going to find out about this. It was over. Malix was gone, and the boys were finally safe. A wave of relief ran through my body at the thought of never having to deal with that group again. At the same time, a ping of realization hit the back of my mind. The boys were only going to stay until after Malix was defeated. That was our deal. As we approached home, I could feel something heavy weigh down my heart. It was late, but the boys led me inside and turned on the lights in the lobby. Viewer! Why? I'm not going to say what you said, but I'm going, for the sake of the VOD. That freaking creditreport.com tune. He just put that in chat. Like, from that commercial. See, what you really need to be posting is the Education Connection tune. That is a bop. I was replying to what you said. Wait, what did I say? Now I'm confused, viewer. I have a 7-track mind. Oh, you mean what I posted in chat? That's just an automatic thing. I just like hit Control V and I don't even think about it. Like I think it's like every half hour I've been doing it. Gosh dang it, viewer, you have to go and confuse me for the sake of the VOD. I've been posting in chat like just a copy paste thing advertising that Seduce Me is free on Steam. Yeah. Thank you, viewer.
Finally, we can relax.
You guys can relax. I can't. I still don't know how to get Andrew's true ending or whatever.
It will be good to have some rest without devils breathing down our necks.
I'm just tired. Can I hit the hay early?
I think some sleep would be good for all of us.
I looked to Damien, knowing he could read my mind, and frowned. I didn't want him to know about my thoughts on the situation. Yeah, bed's good. I wanted to just end tonight. Too much had happened and I felt dizzy just trying to figure it out. However, Damien spoke up, stopping all of us from moving.
Should we be gone in the morning?
Yes! The air became still with tension. The realization of the situation hit the boys like a wave, forcing them to turn to me in curiosity. They had remembered their deal and were now awaiting me to decide their fate. However, I knew my answer. I couldn't keep them here. I knew I couldn't. They were demons and I was a human. I needed to deal with my own life beyond anything else. If the boys stayed, my life would only become more complicated. I think that would be the best. James nodded in agreement, keeping a professional tone in his voice as he replied to me.
Then we will be gone before you wake, miss. Thank you for letting us stay here as long as we did.
You're welcome, you filthy animals. I could feel the upset emotions of the incubi reverberate in the room. But I couldn't change my mind. I had too much going on in my life to let them stay, no matter how much I wanted them to.
It was a pleasure to have
But
served
wait,
you,
but I don't want them to.
beautiful
It was hard watching each boy turn away from me for the last time. I stood there, waiting for them all to leave the lobby.
I guess this is goodbye. Yeah. Have a good one.
Yeah, get out of my face. I stuck to my guns. I knew I was making the right choice.
Thank you for having us, miss. Maybe we'll see each other again.
Nope, probably not. Nope, probably not. As Damien left my sight, I finally let in air that I was denying into my body and sighed. My life would return to normal. Well, as normal as it could be. However, I was smarter and wiser than before. I knew of things beyond humanity now. I had come to learn about the boys and about the existence of the supernatural. I wasn't blind to what was beyond human life. Learning of this made me more open-minded. I nodded to myself before heading to my room, closing the door and mentally allowing the reality of the situation to sink in. Tomorrow I had school. No devils to kidnap me. No incubi to wake up with. I went to bed that night, accepting and not regretting anything. Or so I had hoped.
You are an interesting creature.
I like how it shows her name even though we haven't met her before. Oh, God. They need like a remaster edition that like fixes all the art in this game because it's so awkward and uncomfortable. I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
I don't know, man. Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known as she let another smirk grow onto her face.
Ooh, you're feisty.
But I'm not feisty, though. Like, we've been really chill this entire playthrough. Well, okay, no, not true. We did hit the boys. Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. Take a shot every time it says glared daggers. Oh my god, that's what I should do! Because I'm not going to be able to get through all the leftover routes in this 24-hour period, I've realized. Each one takes about 6 hours. It's a 24-hour stream. That's only 4 routes. And there is... how many left? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 left. Sorry, I keep eating these freaking ODOs. But, I can do, a drinking stream where I take a shot every time certain overused phrases, like, just, oh my god, yes, that would be amazing and terrible and fantastic. That sounds amazing! Oh my god! I gotta write that down. Hold on, because I will forget. I will forget. What are some weird phrases? Without filter. Glared daggers. What's another thing they've said way too much in this game? I'd say gaggle of girls, but that they only bring that up like twice, and I actually enjoy the use of that word. They use however a lot. Oh my god, imagine taking a shot every time they use however. Lord. I don't know. There's a lot of things you could take a shot for in this game. Like, but man, get hype. It'll happen one day. Not today, but someday. Who the hell are you, and why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am. But I'm much more than just an average demon.
You're a lesbian.
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
A bottom. He stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi, now a succubus. Great. I have now met both positions of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty.
Not really.
A goody little two-shoes, aren't you?
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
What do you mean by that?
I mean erasing your memories, sweetie.
This woman wasn't serious, was she? She comes into my room and spouts this? This was ridiculous. Began to walk towards my door, wanting to leave the room. The boys could get rid of her. I had no mind about dealing with her myself.
The boys are gone, sweetie.
I froze in place. What? They were gone already? No way. I turned to Diana, glaring hard at her as she kept a smirk to me. You're lying.
Am I? If you want to go see for yourself, you can. But I promise you'll be wasting your time.
I stared, trying to find any hint if she was lying. She had to be. Boys wouldn't just up and leave without resting first, right? I mean, they didn't really need to rest. They didn't do anything. Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to make a choice. I decided to believe her for now. I'd find some hint in this conversation. What do you mean, take my memories?
Well, we demons can't have just anyone knowing about us. You have to completely devote your soul to learning about us. And even then, it's not always guaranteed that you can be granted knowledge of us.
What makes me not deserve to know everything? I was attacked by devils. I found the boys in my house, wounded, and sheltered them. I think I deserve to remember those moments. Diana let out a laugh, running a hand through her hair before looking back to me amused.
You were attacked by a gang and were almost killed. You found 5 homeless men and let them stay in your home. There's nothing special about either of these instances.
Special, but not supernatural. Yes, there was!
A human like you can't understand the rules. The boys themselves aren't even aware of the rules. They'll learn soon enough.
Diana flipped her hair before looking to me with a stern look.
Listen, sweetie. You're not going back to bed or leaving this house with those memories. I'm taking them from you, one way or another.
I glared, standing my ground.
Confess to your parents that you had demon servants and were almost killed by a devil gang?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. Now she was making me mad. Did she seriously think I was this stupid? These memories were precious to me, and I wasn't going to let her win over my mind. These memories are important to me. I know that other creatures exist. I know that magic exists. I'm more open-minded now.
Open-minded or gullible?
A little bit of both. What did she mean by that? The point of being open-minded was to be open to all thought. How is that anything close to being gullible? Slappy dear. You could almost say one is the other.
There is nothing to learn from remembering the boys that won't bring trouble. I'm merely saving you from that. There are more than just demons who want to keep their existence a secret. There are many creatures in this world that don't want to be known of, and you remembering a small fragment is not acceptable to them without good reason.
Diana smirked.
If you would have kept the boys, or at least had one of them around, they'd be a little more lenient to listen to your pleas. However, you're about to go into tomorrow without any of them around.
That's fine. I couldn't believe my ears. There were more than just demons. Well, yeah, you just learned about devils like yesterday. 2 days ago, sorry. No, yesterday! Yeah, it was yesterday! Other fictional creatures existed? There was a system? What? Diana sighed and snapped. You knew there was a system! Eris told you about it! Ugh, Slappy! You're killing me. Diana sighed and snapped her fingers, lifting my body up from the ground with her magic.
Look, I can kill you and no longer waste what little time I have, or I can erase your memories and go on with my life. I have more important things to do above arguing with you.
I looked down at the ground to see something that made every nerve in my body quickly quake in fear. On the ground was a large open mouth with sharp, wet teeth, leading to an empty black abyss. I could feel the heat from the mouth's breath pant against my floating body. Ah. I looked to Diana, who was looking at me with a stern and almost heartless gaze.
Make a choice, sweetie. Give up your memories or be a demon's snack. I warn you, he's quite the biter.
I was panicking. I was about to die. Again. The boys weren't here to protect me. What was I going to do? Taekwondo, I guess. We're gonna save. Give up the memories. My mind began to wander. Were the memories truly worth my life? No, we just want Andrew. I remembered the way the boys helped organize the house party and help me. Oh, I was like, help me home? Help your home do what? Help me home after Malix's ordeal. But then I remembered I'm only human. I wasn't a demon. I wasn't special. The world of magic was too large for me. I already had a world to face without magic being involved. I felt a wave of sadness run through me, replaying the memories of all that had happened the past few days one last time, before speaking up. Fine, take my memories. I couldn't keep them. They were beyond my world. They were beyond what I needed to know. I was never meant to know of them. Diana nodded.
Glad you understand now.
Guess I gotta. The pit beast below me closed its jaws, vanishing into nothing as I was lowered to the ground. I stood up straight and looked to Diana, resolved. Diana sighed before closing her hand and muttering Latin phrases under her breath, loud enough for me to barely hear. She then opened her hand and revealed a small purple vial. I can guess what that is.
A memory potion. It will remove all of the memories of demons and magic from your mind. With the memories gone, you can live your life as free as you want.
What about the boys?
I have a spell for them. As soon as you drink that potion, you sign your contract with me, and I will take the boys back to where they belong.
Will they remember me?
I'll make sure they won't. They won't even remember ever thinking about coming to the human
wow.
world.
Why didn't you use it before now? Why do I have to drink it knowingly?
Because demon magic isn't black and white, dear. The one catch is that the potion has to be drunk with full natural consent. So I can't just slip it into your chocolate milk or pour it into your mouth as you sleep. That's the downside of good succubus magic.
So I'll be
A plain, boring